Page 43, God Help the Outcasts. I have a few minor suggestions on this piece. First off, as in all these pieces, no matter what happens, make sure you play the melody louder than everything else. That's really what we want to hear. That controls everything, the melody. So what counts when it comes in. First two measures is introduction. There is no melody. You don't have to worry about it. But on third measure, where the off tempo is, that's melody. So it's like at the beginning of this, you're going to slow down in the introduction. And then take off. I'm going to start with the right hand. I have a few minor fingering changes I would like to suggest. You don't have to take them, but I'd suggest you look at them. On measure 13, 12 and 13, you're here in the right hand. They're saying for the eighth note, do the 4. I think it's better to stay on the 2 for the eighth note and do the 4 on the next measure. Here. On measure 19, you're down here to start a G flat, B flat. That fun? And then come up to this G flat, C, B flat. The B flat's tight. Hold it down when you play the D. So they're both down. I think I forgot to mention in measure 10, in case you hadn't figured it out, that note is an F. Hopefully you figure that out on your own. Page 44, it's measure 25. You have a 1-4. And then for the next one, I recommend a 2-5. You can do it 1-5 if you want, but I recommend a 2-5. And again, the C is tight, so hold it down when you play the D in measure 26. Measure 30, when you have the arpeggiated thing going on, I play the bottom note on the beat. So I would play that note on with the flat. Real quick before the left hand plays this next note. Measure 32, same thing. The bottom one with the left hand. Measure 36. We have a key change. You see the two natural signs put in each staff. That's erasing the flats. That means we're not in the key of B flat anymore. Now we're in the key of C major. No sharps or flats. Measure 45 going into 46. It's here. They're saying for the eighth note a 1-5. I recommend a 1-4. And then do a 1-5 on the next measure. To me, that is a more solid fingering than repeating the note. Measure 49, you have an E. The E is tied, so hold it down when you do the B and G. And then drop down to the G. Next measure, A flat D. Hold the A flat down when you do the C. And then you can lift it when you play the B. Measures 56. I recommend a 1-4 fingering on that. And measure 55, you're here. So the A flat's tied, and then you're here. I recommend a 1-4 here to connect the melody. Measure 60. I recommend the fingering. You have a 1-2-5 and it's arpeggiated. I will play the bottom note with the left hand. And then I recommend a 1-2-4 and a 1-2-5. Measure 61, again it's arpeggiated. I'll play the bottom note with the left hand. I recommend a 1-2-4 fingering. 1-2-5, 1-2-4, and then on measure 62, again another arpeggiated thing, but I play the bottom note with the left hand. The idea with measure 60 and 61 going into 62 is we want to connect the melody. Melody's the top note. That's the note. So I just do a 5, 4, 5. I just walk up the keyboard. It's normal. I mean, it's used a lot. The last note of the piece, that's C and G. That's a C and a G. I'm going to hold it for 2 counts, by the way. It's because of the fermata. I'm also going to finger it 2-5. I'm coming from here, so I'm just going to go to here. I left my hand out and I just moved it. In the left hand, on measure 10, I recommend a slightly different fingering because their fingering is really very awkward. Because you're leaving a thumb on a B flat, then you want to cross over to get the index finger on a white note. It's doable, it's just awkward and it's unnecessary. I recommend a 5, 3 on the F, 2 on the B flat, and then you can do a 1 on the C and then cross over if your hand's big enough. You're not leaving the hand stretched out, you're just playing individual notes, and once you played a note, lift up, you can relax the hand and reach out and get the next one, relax the hand, and then, so you're not staying there, it's just temporary. The same thing on measure 20. Again, a B flat, I recommend 3 on the F, 2 on the B flat, and notice after I play it, I collapse my hand. Then a 1 on a C, and I'll cross over to the D. Same thing on measure 26. I'm not going to show you, I just showed you. You see the same. On measure 35, you have a 5-1. I recommend a 4-1, and then a 3-1. These bottom notes are more important than the top notes in this case. The bottom notes go with the top notes here. They're in harmony, they're kind of going up, you're building up to this. Right, so connect them. It starts on measure 36. You have these patterns. You see the same fingering for each one? Well, on those that go up, I recommend a 3-2 instead of a 2-1. 3-2. Again. Now on measure 39, what they have is fine. Because in other pieces you're going to run into the fingering of 3-2, you're going to use more often than this one. So it wouldn't hurt to get good at both of them. At the very end, the last 3 measures, the bottom of page 45, I still recommend the 3-2. 5, 2, 1, 3, 2. 3, 2. Right up to the end. On measure 49 in the left hand, I would recommend, you're starting with the G, I would recommend second finger on the E. Hold the G down, because it's tied. And now for the next measure, you're still going to hold the G down, but you can use the thumb on the F. And you're connecting them with the fingers. I think is a little better. Now for the pedal, I suggest you pretty much pedal it the way it's shown. They're suggesting constant pedaling all over the place, and you can experiment, but when you get to measure 27, I would recommend lifting the pedal up with the left hand. When the left hand is done, because you don't need to pedal those right hand notes. So it's here. Like so. Then on measure 29, I would lift the pedal up on the last beat. So those 2 eighth notes, the last 2 eighth notes, are without pedal. The left hand stays down, so you're here, here, and again on 31, I would lift it up on the 3rd beat. So the last 2 eighth notes are without pedal. On measure 50, you're here. I would lift the pedal up before you play the B, the 8th note. The left hand stays down. You want the B, you're kind of dying away. You're getting rid of all the sound. You know, it's, I mean, there's a retard there also, so it's. Well, that's about it for the pedal. Otherwise, just legato pedal everything pretty much. It's overlapped. So we're going to play page 43, and then we're going to stop, turn the page, and then we're going to do pages 44 and 45. I'll give us 3 counts because this is in 3/4 time. And again, it is in B flat to start. And then on page 44, it changes to C major. Won't that be fun? Oh boy. Hands. Left hand, right hand. Foot's on the pedal. 1, ready, and go, and. Turn the page. 1, 2, and go, and.